House hacking, what the heck is that? So I have Jacob here, he's one of our team members here at Truen Group. Let's talk about what is house hacking.
Yeah, most simply put, it's owning a property and offsetting some of that cost of that property by renting part of it out, whether it's by the room for a single family or by units in multifamily.
Okay, so what would be the benefit of that?
Kind of what I mentioned, it's mostly financial benefits. By offsetting that cost, you lower one of your largest expenses, which is your living costs. You also get to have other people help you pay down your mortgage, so gaining equity in your home.
Right. So then it's not for everybody. What are the downsides?
Yeah, downsides really is you could have strangers living in a property that you own. So you're not sure how they're gonna handle or treat that property. So really you can do is have really good screening practices so you can make sure you have the best tenants possible.
Perfect. So you're talking about either a single family home where you rent out a room or two, right? And I mean, sometimes it's just a bedroom and they share all the rest of the space with you. Sometimes it's up down situation. And I know there's people out there that are thinking, I'm just gonna buy a house and rent to my buddies. This will be great.
Yeah.
There's a risk there. I'm not saying don't do it, but there's a risk. So how can you kind of like lower those risks for someone like that that's thinking that way?
Yeah. It's much more than just having your buddies come live over at your place. It is a big investment of yours. You're putting a lot of your hard-earned money into it. Treat it like a business. So make sure you have leases that are signed by anyone who comes and lives in your property. Go over the ground rules with them and make sure, and that'll help you keep a good relationship with them.
Yeah, which is important. Set those expectations before. So let's talk about it, because you're a house hacker. How'd you do it?
Well, first, kind of doing the groundwork of research. There's a lot of podcasts, books, blogs out there. Learning of other people's experiences or sometimes their mistakes as well is a great way to put your first step forward. And then next would be nailing down the finances. So meeting with the mortgager or mortgage officer is a great way to learn what products are out there in your area. And what is kind of your financial scope that you can afford and that makes sense for you, so that you can start putting down your criteria of what kind of home you're looking for.
Yep. And what did you find?
I found was primarily looking into side-by-side duplexes in the Minneapolis area.
So you could live on one half, go on the other. And by the way, I'm going to back up for a minute. When you're talking about working with a lender, an experienced lender who knows about investment properties, but you're actually homesteading it. So that's one of the benefits too. In Minnesota, anyhow, there's a tax benefit to living there. And also for the loan itself, right? Because you can get better terms, you can get down payment assistance. So again, there's a lot of financial pieces that are a benefit to this. So you found the duplex. There was another criteria you had. You weren't going to do just a move-in turnkey duplex.
Yep. Yeah. The timing of it was a very hot market, so things were going for a premium at the time. So I knew if I wanted something in my price range that had really value to it, I needed to find kind of fixer-upper, something that needed a little bit of work. So that was part of my criteria to go in and look at these houses and look at what kind of work is needed. Is it just paint? That might not be enough for me. If it's a full gut job, that might be a little too much. So looking for a range that I was competent with my skill set, as well as how much money I had to pay for those renovations.
Yeah, and you actually did, on the one side, a lot of work. The tenants that were there were kind of not ideal. And then you were willing to live through the chaos because it was a duplex.
Yep.
So you did that for a while. And you mentioned before, set your timeline and your budget and then add a little bit to it.
Yeah, especially if it's your first one. Like this was my first one of owning completely. It could take double of what you're expecting it to take.
Yeah.
So have that built into your plans to be comfortable living there a little bit longer. And of course, you're living in a homestead property for less than it would be if you were to live by your own in a single family.
Yeah, so there's that benefit. So would you do it again?
Absolutely. I feel like it was a great experience. You meet some great people as well as you're working through construction and through the acquisition of the home, and well as tenants, you meet some great people. Yep.
So anything you would do different?
don't know if I would do a whole lot different because, if you do your research ahead of time, you learn from other people that made some mistakes on the way. Every time they made a mistake, they built upon it and they learned from it. And I would say that's kind of like one of the greatest things too about this is when you're more hands-on, you kind of learn more to then be able to move forward and apply it continually.
Real estate investing is probably one of the best ways to build generational wealth, and especially someone who's trying to like continue on. So you're going to be starting to look for your next property, and you're going to keep this one. So now you'll have that as a full rental while you go and move into the next one. And it's not for everybody, but it is a great way to start building up some of your wealth. So thanks, Jacob.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you.